Good morning. Today's lesson is 8.1, Simplifying Rational Expressions. And the way to do this is just like simplifying any fraction that we're used to, and that's looking for a factor that would be in common in the numerator and denominator. So it's sometimes best to look at the denominator. Let's see, between 27x squared minus 36x, what would we factor out? 27 and 36 have a common factor of 9 and x. 27x squared divided by 9x would be 3x, and 36x divided by 9x would be 4. In the numerator, you can see 72x and 9x, they have a common factor, so we're going to rewrite 72x as 9x times 8. And that way we can actually look at the common factor of 9x that's in the numerator and denominator and cancel that out. And so our final answer as a reduced simplified fraction would be 8 over 3x minus 4. And then when you look at excluded values, this goes back to solving quadratics, we look at the things that we cannot have in the denominator. So what makes this denominator 0? So we can think about 9x times 3x minus 4, set that equal to 0, so we would know what to avoid. And then we would say that apply the zero product property, so 9x equals 0 would indicate, okay, the denominator cannot be 0. And then 3x minus 4 equals 0. And then we solve that for x. So we get 3x equals 4. Divide both sides by 3. So we find out that x equals 4/3 would also be an excluded value. So that's how you simplify rational expressions. I'll do one more. We'll jump here to number 4. If we factor the denominator here, we have a 9p in common, leaving us with p minus 10. So this goes back to the basics of factoring. And you can see immediately the p minus 10 and the p minus 10, those would be our common factors, leaving us with a numerator of 1. When it cancels out, that's also, we say canceling out when there's a 1 in common there. So 1 over 9p would be the simplified version there, and again we apply the zero product property, setting that equal to 0, setting the denominator equal to 0, so again we know what to avoid. So we know dividing both sides by 9, again we would have p equals 0 would be an excluded value. Adding 10 to both sides, p equals 10 would be an excluded value. Excluded values. So your steps for doing these types of problems would be, 1, to simplify or factor numerator and denominator. And then to look for and cancel the common factors in the numerator and denominator. And again, and that would be the greatest common factor, just like we would do with any fraction when we're simplifying. And then third, look for excluded values, so set the denominator equal to 0 and identify excluded values. See me if you have any questions.